Hi, everyone. I'm Nancy Dunham. I'm the principal analyst for retail for Ward's Auto. Thanks so much for joining us for our most recent Auto Trader Ward's Auto Fast Chat. Today we have with us Jeff Flack. He's the Director of Sales Effectiveness for Cox Automotive. Jeff, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. We've talked a lot both in wards and certainly casually at conferences and so forth about today's digital channels and how they've empowered consumers during the shopping process. And I know that's not something brand new, but it certainly has developed by leaps and bounds, certainly since the pandemic. And, in doing so, these channels have brought greater reach and more power to the dealership marketing. I wonder if we can talk a little bit about ways to simplify and maximize marketing spend and digital strategy from the dealer's point of view.
Well, I'll tell you, we've heard from our clients, right, that they've made it clear that they are having trouble tracking their advertising spend. Right.
Okay.
And so Cox Automotive built the tool to accomplish this, and it's called Envision. But before we talk about Envision, I really want to back up a second and really address that the ability to just measure performance and use those findings to increase business has become weighed down by excess data and so much complexity. It's really hard to figure out what's working. Right? What happens is this causes dealerships to spend ever increasing amounts on digital marketing with little insight on whether it's doing any good. I bet if we ask most dealers will admit that half their marketing and advertising budget doesn't work. They just don't know what half. We're answering that question for them.
And you've really already spoken to this, but just to put a fine point on it, can you tell us about the impact of digital marketing on tracking sales attribution for dealers? What are some of the changes that have happened, certainly recently?
I think the number one thing dealers struggle with is the ability to track advertising. And so what we have done with the Envision platform is we've helped deliver insights that try to answer that question, right? So without the right information and the analytics, dealers are making decisions that hurt their business. Not intentionally. They just don't know sometimes what they don't know. So understanding what's driving sales allows dealers to analyze their marketing strategies and can fine tune it to provide a better ROI.
You've talked about the importance of reliable sales attribution data, certainly to drive business. Can you tell us how Cox Automotive specifically is helping Auto Trader dealers track that marketing performance and ROI?
Yeah, so that brings us to Envision, right? The big advantage that Cox Automotive has is we touch the entire ecosystem of the car shopping and car buying and car selling process, right? So our data is second to none. So what Envision is, it's really the only marketing analytics platform in the industry that leverages Cox Automotive's entire data ecosystem, right? And it's designed to help a dealer accomplish a few things. So with Envision and the dealers that are utilizing Envision every day, which every dealer should, there's really four main things that Envision can help with. It helps them understand their position in the marketplace because it talks a lot about market share.
Okay.
It helps create specific strategies to reach desirable households because nobody has more data about car shoppers and what they're looking for and where they're located than Cox Automotive does, right? Thirdly, it helps execute those strategies through Cox Automotive products, right? But most importantly, it measures their effectiveness. And so that's the key component. It measures the effectiveness and not just says, oh, you're getting X number of search impressions or X number of vehicle detail page views. It tells you how to literally get more and what is keeping you from getting more customers to engage in your cars, right? And if you get more customers engaged in more cars, you're going to sell more cars, right? And the best news is it's totally free. We've had dealers ask us how much do we charge for this platform because
Right.
they see, I mean, let's face it, how much would a platform with all that data cost, right? But we include it for free with all of our clients who have a dealer.com website or are listing their inventory with a subscription on Auto Trader and Kelley Blue Book. And so dealerships, dealer groups, and OEMs are all utilizing Envision to make decisions.
Tell me a little bit. I'm going to go back. Certainly, OEM is interesting and important, but I'm going to go back to the dealers for a minute because so many are under a crunch to get quality people in to maintain and retain staff. Can you tell me from your perspective, if I'm a dealer, who is the most important member of my group that should come in and learn about Envision?
Everyone, and I mean everyone. So that's GMs, that's owners, marketing people, sales managers, and desk managers. Basically, in other words, anyone who's responsible for driving sales at the dealership needs to be using Envision on a daily basis to understand what is happening and make educated decisions. And so, for anyone that is looking to get started with Envision and hasn't yet, or they want to take their expertise to the next level, they can go to envisionresourcecenter.com to access on-demand tutorials. We've created Envision checklist based on what your role is at the dealership.
Okay.
And you can even sign up to attend live online training sessions that I'll be hosting.
Wow. As I said earlier, I get a lot of calls as the editor here about for dealers who are frustrated about their marketing and their advertising, and certainly from consultants. And it sounds like what you're offering is really kind of a terrific package, as you said, with Cox Automotive, just pulling everything together like that. Can you tell me a little bit about how dealers get involved, the training opportunity with Envision?
We're actually going to call it Envision Dealer Academy. This is where on the first Wednesday of every month at 1 p.m. Eastern, I'll be offering interactive online client training designed for immediate practical application. And examples of that. So like in each session, I'm going to cover a different capability where I'll walk dealers through how to interpret specific attribution reports and how to use the insights to improve targeting, sales opportunities, and even optimize your marketing investment with Auto Trader. In the way that it's designed, sure, it's geared towards Cox Automotive and using Cox Automotive data, but it will make your marketing efforts better everywhere else if you understand how consumers are interacting with you when they're anonymous on these third-party sites.
I just want to remind the folks who are joining us today that Jeff is the director of sales effectiveness for Cox Automotive, so he really knows his stuff. I'll blow his horn even though he won't. So I'll say he really knows his stuff and so forth. Highly recommend folks get involved in this. Tell me though, if I'm a dealer and I want to sign up for the academy, or I just want to know more about the training, or what can I do? How can I go about finding this out?
Okay, so there's a few different avenues there, right? So you can access the registration page through envisionresourcecenter.com, right? Which we talked about earlier, that there's tutorial videos, there's checklist, as well as the registration, or you can go directly to envisiondealeracademy.com to sign up for the next session. So those are a couple ways, but really, I would highly encourage dealers to really get involved with their Auto Trader consultant or the dealer.com consultant, because there is more data and knowledge at their fingertips inside Envision that the dealers probably were never aware of to help them make decisions. They can watch some videos and they can attend the training, which I highly recommend, but they're going to need a lot of one-on-one time with their Auto Trader consultants to really truly understand and unleash the power inside Envision.
I would think that, I can hear dealers saying to me, well, gosh, I only have so much time or this and that. And it sounds like from what you said in the beginning, certainly this will pay off for them literally because they're maximizing and supercharging, as we said, their marketing spend.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, the time savings alone is crazy, right? Because obviously we can't do a full demo in Envision. We don't have the time for it, right? But
Sure.
there's alerts that alert you when things have gone wrong with your merchandising or pricing.
Okay.
There's an alert system that alerts dealers even at the product level if something dropped off with performance overnight. It's updated every day.
Fascinating.
You can look at your market share. You can analyze your cars you're selling. You can build campaigns based on Cox Automotive data for shoppers down to the zip code. What you can do inside Envision is just it's there's nothing like it. And the beauty is there isn't any company that can deliver what Cox can because of all the companies that are connected.
Jeff, you've spent a lot of time with us today, and I really want to thank you for that. I'm sure this is going to be incredibly valuable to our audience. I want to thank everybody for taking the time to join us for our latest installment of Auto Trader Ward's Auto Fast Chat. Thanks again, and thank you, Jeff.
Thanks for having me. This was great.